Hi, Alya Shatrah Anuar here. We'll be presenting my design project, which is Bloomscape, an eco farm and educational park. Our client is City Farm, which is an organization whose objective is to inspire more city farmers with the ability to grow locally from anywhere. Co-founded by four university mates, Johansson, Jaden, Lowe, and Louis. Their mission is three terms: food, farm, and family. The food part is that they wanted to venture into indoor farming. Farm is that the progression of hydroponics technology makes soilless farming possible. The family part is that the main focus of them is to have education to train the next generation on the importance of farming. Our target user are local consumers from Central Business District and family-friendly from local residences. Why urban agriculture? To the main fact, eco-farm and educational park. Looking at the state context, Johor was known to be a powerhouse. You name it, oil palms, fruits, vegetables, and many more. They also have a lot of eco-farming, but they have less awareness compared to our neighbor, Singapore. In our proposed site, Setia Tropika Town, they are filled with eateries, so why not we support them? We try to celebrate their local delicacies. They also found to have kindergartens, but having pretty most dominant for kindergartens only, but not higher education. And they also filled with residential areas but less community gathering spaces. So why not turning Setia Tropika Town into a community supported in urban agriculture? So my SWOT analysis is that the strengths is that they have Central Business District. It's a mix of between calm and busy, filled with eateries, and the opportunity is that we can promote and provide local businesses. The weakness is that they have a lack of pedestrian-friendly covered path. No greenery concept in the business district though, and having institutional and community 3.56% on the land usage. Now the threats will be having this sense of less sense of belonging and the cost living increase, as the residential area is very modern compared to what we used to see in conventional. The site synthesis primarily focus on the public space, solid and void, and zoning. As I have mentioned, they have residential area and business district in a balance. Solid and void is that our proposed site is mainly integrated between these two zones, and the public space is mostly coming from the urban district. The site synthesis that I've got from this site is that eateries are everywhere, and even the survey that we did, people emphasize more on the food as the reason for them to visit here. So that maybe becomes the main purpose when people come here. The issues are, however, public space, lack of community hub, tradition value a bit less when too indulged into urban context, and the identity is a bit unclear. The problem statement for this is that creating a close relationship among people with their local food source through urban farming in an educative environment. The design aim is to bring food production closer to the local residences, in addition with public experience of food and nature aided by sustainable design. Core objectives are educating and cultivating sense of belonging in local businesses. Now, for the main concept, Bloomscape comes from the process of pollination. Imagine having flowers blooming everywhere. So I wanted to have a metaphor like a farm that acts as a flower. When flowers bloom, it becomes to attract insects. Then it carries pollen from one flower to another, having this engagement of the community. So the locals are the bees acting the pollination process. To interact continuously, that becomes a community hub. Now, as our main theme is biophilic, the patterns that I used are the visual connection with the nature, connection with natural systems, and having the presence of water, and foremost the mystery and risk peril having at the space of the area, while also implementing material, connection, and complexity and order. The precedent studies that I've used so far are the Superfarm by Studio Nab. Now it's a floating urban farming tower, a 6-story on water having food production on the culture of foods. Their principle is to have a high nutritional value ecological transition by moving indoor system. Second precedent study is the Maggie Center by Heatherwick. This one is implementing the biophilicness that they have. For example, the library plus the exercise area having this social space that connects all spaces to the garden, which becomes a healing environment. Third precedent study is the Sunflower House by Koichi Takada. The concept that he uses, form follows nature. What I wanted to propose here is that the design itself is carbon positive concept, and it has its own visual connection with the nature, not only on the outdoor but in indoor as well, having the roof as some sort of like magically nods its head to bathe in the light. So it's very family dwelling design by the Italian region of Umbria. It also uses sustainable design. Now the educational park study that I propose is the Marinella Educational Park. How they respond is by having these 5 major spaces: resting, play, walkabout, watch, and farm. Now the variously of schools from kindergarten having these park-like settings with facilities shared by all grades. So it accommodates by students from a large area. This gives awareness to the Malaysian new generations of 21st if I actually having to mimic this kind of proposition. Next precedent study is the vertical times, where my park-like setting building is somehow vertical. So a vertical urban farm plus park. So this shows to emphasize the verticality and the density, having this sort of recognizable landmark in the New York City. This concludes the building programs, which are educative park, services, restaurant, staff and research, and finally the production being the rooftop. The space planning is that by using this sort of continuous connection, looking at the right picture, we have the bridge that aims to bring people to slow down, creating a meeting place. The keywords here is that I wanted to celebrate, reunite, and cater the people. How I find the form for this design is that the elevation follows the tree. The form follows the tree of the surrounding. This is the messing for the form, having to emphasize the vertical element by following the climate in the site area, and also tries to scatter the form to mimic the trees in the surrounding area.